Have you ever experienced a strange, persistent smell that no one else seems to notice? It could be more than just a quirky moment. It might be a warning sign of something much more serious. In fact, certain distorted smells can actually be one of the earliest indicators of cognitive decline, long before memory loss sets in. In today's video, we're diving into the surprising connection between your sense of smell and dementia, revealing the subtle and often overlooked warning signs that could help you spot cognitive decline before it's too late. If you're concerned about the health of your brain or a loved one's, you'll want to stick around for this crucial information. Let's explore these early symptoms and what steps you can take to protect yourself. Your sense of smell is closely tied to your brain, specifically the hippocampus, the area responsible for memory. This connection is so crucial that when early stages of dementia set in, one of the first signs may not be memory loss, it may be a decline in your ability to smell. When the brain begins to deteriorate, it misinterprets ordinary scents, causing you to experience phantom smells like rotten food or burning odors, even though there's no real source. What's alarming is that changes in your sense of smell can happen long before more obvious signs of cognitive decline appear. In fact, research has shown that those who struggle to identify common scents, such as lemon or peppermint, are twice as likely to develop dementia in the next few years. The loss of smell isn't just a minor inconvenience or a sign of aging. It's a hidden warning sign of brain dysfunction, particularly Alzheimer's disease and other forms of dementia. As the olfactory system deteriorates, the brain's ability to process smells becomes increasingly distorted. For example, someone might smell a freshly baked loaf of bread but experience it as a foul, rotten odor instead. This phenomenon is known as parosmia, and it occurs because the olfactory pathways are being damaged by the same proteins that are linked to Alzheimer's. This isn't just a weird occurrence, it's a red flag for more significant neurological problems. If you notice changes in your ability to smell or if familiar scents start to seem strange, it could be one of the first signs of cognitive decline. And as we'll explore next, there are other unusual smells that might also signal early dementia. Let's dive deeper into these strange sensory shifts. As we age, it's natural for our minds to change, but sometimes those changes can be a warning sign of something more serious. Cognitive decline, which can be an early indicator of dementia or Alzheimer's disease, often shows up in subtle ways that can be easy to overlook. But one of the earliest and most surprising indicators might be a change in your sense of smell. While we often associate memory loss with cognitive decline, the reality is that a damaged sense of smell can precede it by years. In fact, certain types of distorted or phantom smells can signal early-stage dementia, and they deserve our attention. 1. Distorted or rotten smells. One of the first warning signs of cognitive decline might be a distorted perception of smells, such as the sudden onset of a foul or rotten odor when there is none present. For instance, you might notice a smell of decaying meat or spoiled food, even when you're surrounded by fresh, pleasant scents. This condition, known as parosmia, occurs when the brain misinterprets normal smells, making them appear unpleasant or offensive. It's linked to a decline in the olfactory function, the system responsible for detecting smells. The damage to the olfactory pathways in the brain, especially from conditions like Alzheimer's, causes these distorted smells. What's even more alarming is that this type of distortion doesn't always go away. As the damage progresses, it can make once familiar scents like fresh coffee, bread, or even perfume smell rancid. The cause of this may be the accumulation of beta-amyloid plaques, which are often found in Alzheimer's patients. These sticky protein deposits disrupt brain function, leading to distorted smell perceptions. While the experience of unpleasant smells can be unsettling, it's a critical signal that should not be ignored. 2. Musty or moldy smells. Another early warning sign involves the frequent sensation of a musty or moldy odor, even when there's no actual mold present. This type of phantom smell is common in individuals with mild cognitive impairment or early-stage dementia. Studies have shown that patients who experience these false, earthy, or damp smells are often dealing with a decline in the brain's ability to process sensory information correctly. Imagine walking into your home and suddenly noticing a strong, musty odor that others around you can't detect. You might clean, air out your space, and even check for mold, but the smell persists. Over time, the sensation might fade, but if it keeps happening, it could point to deeper neurological issues. This phantom smell may be linked to damage in the brain's olfactory pathways, which are responsible for interpreting sensory signals. This type of sensory distortion is often a sign of cognitive decline that is just beginning to take root. There's a real-life case of a 69-year-old woman who, over the course of 2 years, frequently complained about a musty smell in her house. Despite numerous attempts to clean and address the issue, the smell remained. Eventually, she began to experience confusion and difficulty recalling recent events, and she was diagnosed with early-stage dementia. This type of sensory distortion is often one of the first subtle symptoms of cognitive decline. 3. Persistent smoky or burnt odors. A less common but equally alarming sign is the consistent experience of a smoky or burnt smell, even when there is no fire. This type of phantom odor is known as phantasmia, a condition in which the brain generates smells that aren't actually present. A 2023 study found that 30% of people with mild cognitive impairment reported phantom smells, with smoky or ashy odors being among the most common. This particular type of distorted smell can be particularly disconcerting, especially if it occurs frequently or during times when you're relaxed, such as when you're in bed at night. Imagine waking up in the middle of the night, sniffing the air, and thinking you smell smoke. You check the kitchen, the living room, and the hallway, but there's no fire. This may seem like an odd, isolated incident, but it could be a clue that something more serious is at play. For some individuals, these phantom smells are accompanied by feelings of anxiety and confusion, which can make them even more unsettling. In one case, a 75-year-old woman began to complain about a persistent smell of smoke in her bedroom. Her family dismissed her concerns as simple anxiety, but within a year, she began experiencing memory lapses and confusion. She was later diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, and her neurologist noted that the smoky smell episodes could have been an early sign of cognitive decline. 4. Unexplained ammonia or urine-like smells. Another warning sign of cognitive decline is the frequent experience of an ammonia or urine-like odor, even in environments where no such smell exists. This kind of phantom smell can be a sign of neurodegeneration in the brain. In 2021, a study published in the Journal of Clinical Neuroscience found that individuals who reported experiencing phantom chemical or urine-like smells had a 65% higher risk of developing dementia within 3 years. It might start subtly. Perhaps you notice a faint ammonia-like scent in a bathroom that's been freshly cleaned, or you find that your clothes seem to have an odd, lingering smell even after washing. Over time, the experience can become more intense, and the odor may seem to come from places that are perfectly clean. This type of sensory distortion occurs because the olfactory bulb, the brain structure that processes smells, is one of the first areas affected by neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. In a real-life example, a 72-year-old woman began noticing a strong urine-like smell in her home, despite there being no obvious source. At first, her family didn't think much of it, but as time passed, her cognitive function started to decline. She was eventually diagnosed with early-stage Alzheimer's. This phantom smell, which at first seemed like a minor issue, turned out to be an early warning sign of serious neurological decline. 5. Phantom metallic or rusty smells. A more rare but concerning warning sign of cognitive decline is the persistent perception of a metallic or rusty smell. Individuals who experience this often report smelling rust, blood, or even metal shavings when none of these odors are present. Research indicates that this sensation can be linked to damage in the brain caused by oxidative stress, a condition where neurons become damaged by free radicals. This type of smell distortion can be a sign of early neurodegeneration and may indicate the onset of Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, or vascular dementia. A striking example comes from a 74-year-old man who began complaining that his drinking water smelled like rust, even though it had been tested and found to be clean. This was one of the first signs of cognitive decline, which worsened over time. Eventually, he was diagnosed with dementia, and his doctors linked the phantom metallic smell to his early neurodegeneration. If you begin noticing a phantom metallic or rusty smell in your environment, it could be another critical signal of cognitive decline. 6. Loss of smell, anosmia. One of the strongest predictors of dementia is the complete or partial loss of smell, a condition known as anosmia. Studies have shown that people who fail smell tests, such as being unable to identify common scents like lemon or peppermint, are at a much higher risk of developing dementia in the next few years. This type of smell loss is particularly concerning because it's often linked to the early stages of Alzheimer's. And unlike temporary smell loss caused by a cold or sinus infection, anosmia caused by dementia doesn't improve, it only worsens over time. This progressive loss of smell occurs because the olfactory bulb, which is responsible for detecting scents, is one of the first areas affected by Alzheimer's and other neurodegenerative diseases. If you begin to notice that your ability to detect familiar smells, like the scent of flowers, food, or even your own home is fading, it could be an early sign that your brain is undergoing significant changes. Unlike temporary smell loss, this type of sensory loss will not return, making it crucial to seek evaluation if you notice any changes. 7. Phantom sweet smells. Phantom sweet smells are another warning sign of cognitive decline. This bizarre and often overlooked symptom involves smelling sweet odors like overripe fruit, vanilla, or caramel when there is no source nearby. Researchers believe that this type of distortion is related to damage in the temporal lobe, which plays a key role in processing both smells and memory. The sweet smells reported by individuals with early Alzheimer's are not caused by environmental factors, such as a scent in the air, but rather by the brain misfiring and producing these sensations. One case involved a 75-year-old woman who frequently smelled vanilla or honey in empty rooms. Her doctors initially dismissed it as a minor sensory quirk, but within 2 years she was diagnosed with early-onset Alzheimer's. The neurologist later reviewed her medical records and concluded that the phantom sweet smell episodes were likely one of the first signs of neurodegeneration. If you consistently notice sweet, non-existent smells, it could be a critical signal that something is affecting your cognitive health. 8. Sulfur or burning flesh smells. The most unsettling and rarest of these warning signs is the experience of sulfur-like smells, often described as rotten eggs or even burning flesh. This is another form of phantasmia, and it is strongly linked to dysfunction in the frontal lobe, which plays a major role in memory, decision-making, and sensory processing. A 2023 study found that people who reported phantom sulfur smells had a 79% increased risk of rapid cognitive decline. One particularly chilling case involved a 76-year-old man who repeatedly complained about smelling something burning whenever he was near his wife or children. Initially, he thought the smell was coming from the kitchen, his clothes, or even his skin. But over time, the smell grew stronger, and he began to feel disoriented and confused, often forgetting where he was. Within a year, he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and his neurologist believed that the phantom sulfur smell was one of the earliest signs of his cognitive decline. The good news is that you have the power to reduce your risk of dementia and cognitive decline through simple lifestyle changes. Adopting a healthy routine can make a significant difference, potentially delaying or even preventing the onset of dementia. It's all about making smart, consistent choices that benefit both your brain and overall well-being. First, managing blood pressure and blood sugar is crucial. High blood pressure and diabetes are two of the most significant risk factors for dementia. Studies show that those with high blood pressure in midlife have a 60% higher risk of developing dementia. By keeping your blood pressure and blood sugar levels in check, you can significantly lower your chances of cognitive decline. Next, staying physically active is essential. Exercise isn't just good for your heart. It's also great for your brain. Aim for at least 20 minutes of moderate exercise each day, whether it's brisk walking, swimming, or resistance training. Regular physical activity increases blood flow to the brain, helping to keep it sharp and improve memory function. In addition, prioritize quality sleep. Research shows that those who get less than 6 hours of sleep a night are at a higher risk of developing dementia. Strive for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each night to help your brain rest and repair itself. Good sleep supports memory consolidation and strengthens neural connections. Finally, engage in activities that keep your brain sharp. Just like any other muscle, your brain needs exercise to stay strong. Stimulate your mind with puzzles, reading, or learning a new skill. Socializing with others also plays a key role in maintaining cognitive health. By incorporating these changes, you can cut your risk of dementia in half. Protecting your brain today means safeguarding your mental clarity tomorrow. Let's explore more steps to protect your brain. If you or someone you care about starts noticing any of the unusual smells we've discussed, it's important to take action sooner rather than later. These changes in your sense of smell, especially when they persist or worsen, could be a warning sign of cognitive decline. Ignoring these signs might delay necessary intervention, so it's crucial to stay proactive and informed. Start by tracking the frequency of these phantom smells. Are they happening every day or just on occasion? The more frequently they occur, the more significant the potential issue. It's helpful to keep a journal to note when the smells appear, what they smell like, and any other changes in your daily life. This record will be valuable when discussing your symptoms with a doctor. Next, consult a doctor if you notice any distorted or phantom smells. A neurologist is your best option for an accurate assessment. They can perform specialized tests, such as smell identification tests, which can detect early signs of cognitive decline. These tests are often part of standard dementia screenings and can reveal issues that might not be apparent in memory tests alone. In addition to these tests, the doctor may also conduct further evaluations to assess any cognitive changes, such as forgetfulness or difficulty recognizing faces. If the results indicate any signs of cognitive impairment, your doctor can help guide you through the next steps for managing and mitigating further decline. It's essential to remember that early detection can make a huge difference. The earlier cognitive decline is identified, the more options you have for managing it. Adopting brain-boosting lifestyle changes like exercising regularly, maintaining a healthy diet, and staying mentally active can help slow down or even reverse some of the damage. Let's now look at how making those lifestyle adjustments can have a lasting impact on cognitive health. As we've seen today, our sense of smell can offer important clues to our brain health, and recognizing early signs of cognitive decline can make all the difference. By staying aware of changes in your senses and taking action when needed, you can reduce the risk of further damage and maintain a sharp, healthy mind. Remember, lifestyle changes like staying active, eating well, and engaging in mental exercises can also help protect your brain. If you found this video helpful, consider supporting the Health Horizon channel by liking, subscribing, and sharing it with others who might benefit. Together, we can continue to raise awareness about brain health and provide valuable insights for a healthier future. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to helping you stay ahead of your health journey.